Well, hey everybody. Have you seen those videos and articles that say lose belly fat in 10 minutes or 7 days or really fast? Well, how long does it really take to lose belly fat? That's what we're talking about today. So, hey there, hot mamas, and welcome to Crazy Sexy Menopause. I'm Betty Vargas, and I educate pre-peri and postmenopausal women on how to live more vibrantly through better applications of my 3 keys: mindset, meals, and movement. So how do you just get rid of that belly fat fast? Well, you do it with intention. Now, hear me out. As we move into our 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond, we have to make different lifestyle choices. Now, I'm 69, and the reality is that as we age, we can no longer be as reckless as we were when we were younger because our bodies just don't snap back like they used to. I'm sorry. I'm just here to tell you the facts. We absolutely must move more and eat differently. We may need to monitor our blood pressure, our cholesterol levels, and we definitely have to protect our heart. So wow, I got some people here. Hey, Pam, how you doing? Marianne. Thank you. Hi, Marianne. Oh, wait a minute. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Angelo. Hi, everybody. Good to see you here. Now, let me just get back into this. We do have to adjust our eating by definitely focusing on our fat, our salt, and our sugar intake. Absolutely, when we start getting older, and for some people even before then. But we may also have stress in our lives, and that cortisol also leads to belly fat. And the earlier you begin to incorporate these tips that I'm going to share with you today, the smoother your later years will be. So, where do we begin? Number 1, set realistic expectations and be patient. You can lose fat fast, but you can lose weight fast, but you probably won't lose fat. And you might sacrifice some muscle in the process if you don't do it correctly. And muscle becomes way more important as we age because it protects our bones. Now, fat is more challenging to lose, but if you have a workout program and you're about 5 pounds overweight, you should begin to see some ab development after about 2 months of working out. Now, in 4 months of working out, you'll see definition beginning to form. And in 6 months, you begin to feel that natural girdle building up underneath your stomach. Now, if you have more than 5 pounds of weight to lose, then your muscles will be developed by working out, but you will only see them after you burn off the fat in that abdominal area. And let me just share with you, in terms of being patient, the first place you gain weight, which is going to be in the abdominal area, is the last place you're going to lose it. So be patient and give yourself some grace. Number 2, adjust your lifestyle. Adequate sleep, stress management, and hydration play a huge role in belly fat loss. Poor sleep and chronic stress lead to hormonal intolerances, imbalances that hinder your weight loss and your fat loss specifically. So try creating a bedtime environment that's conducive to better sleep, meaning turning off your electronics, really blacking out your room so that you don't have extra light coming in. Really, you can either read or just start having wonderful thoughts before you drift off into dreamland. But you want to have an optimal environment that's going to produce really good sleep, as opposed to fretting with insomnia and worrying about all of the issues that you may or may not have the next day. And also, you know what? Even if you do have a stressful night, there is absolutely no shame in having a nap the next day if you suffer from insomnia. So, let's just be real. Take a nap, okay? Now, also, when we talk about stress, you want to meditate, actually get some kind of meditation practice going, or yoga, or some stretching exercises to really kind of relax your mind. And stay in a state of positivity and gratitude. And write these things down and keep a gratitude journal if you can. Because when you're focusing on things that you're grateful for, there's no way you can worry about things that you have absolutely no control over. And you also want to visualize your ideal body. And so seeing yourself fit, seeing yourself as your ideal self, can help you to make healthier choices when you're either in the grocery store or when you're at an event where there are some items or on the menu that may be tempting for you. If you're focusing on what your ultimate goal is in terms of your health and the way you look, then those things take precedence over the brain fart, over temporary indulgences. Okay, so also you might want to try time restricted eating, like intermittent fasting, and I do have a video on that you might want to check out. But time restricted eating, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because if you're eating within an 8-hour window of time, I mean, who wants to eat nobody eats 24 hours of the day. I mean, I like eating, but I'm not going to eat 24 hours out of the day. And I'm not going to eat right before I go to bed, because when I'm resting, I want my digestive system to be resting as well. So, and also another thing to do is to incorporate a mix of cardiovascular exercises and strength training, and even add some high intensity workouts in your regimen. And because these activities burn not only calories, but they build muscle and they improve your overall fitness. So aim for a combination of activities that you enjoy and you can sustain them over time. The key really is to just move. Just move. Do something you like, and do something that you can incorporate in your life for the rest of your life, because that's just how important it is, especially as we get up in age. So let me see if I have any questions here. Okay. I never had a sweet tooth before. Then I hit 65 and pow! All I want is sugar these days. Is this normal for people in general, or is it just my issue? Well, it might just be your issue, but it's also something to be weary of. I mean, our bodies change, our taste buds change as we get older, and so it's important to really be aware of what's happening to your body. The best thing that you can do is to, as I said, go back to the journal and really see what's happening with your body, so that when you're looking back at pages in your journal, you think, well, this wasn't happening for me before. Now what's happening, and what should I do about this? Your body may be seeking the nutrient in the foods that you're craving, and also too, metaphysically or psychologically, what's going on in your life? Are you happy? Are you desiring a little more sweetness in your life? And so these are some things that you might want to look into in terms of what's going on with your body, and why are these things important to you right now when they weren't before. So that's why journaling is really, really important at this particular time. So I hope that answered your question, Angelo. And let's see. So now he says, I'm deliriously happy. Well, I am so glad of that, my dear. Anyway, so let's see. Now, while it's not possible to spot reduce from a specific area, because everybody says, well, you can't spot reduce. It's really not, it really is a thing. You cannot spot reduce, but you can spot build. So you can build up your abdominal area, you can build up your biceps, you can build up these muscles individually, but if you don't burn the fat, you'll never see the muscle. And also another thing about fat is that it occurs throughout the entire body. So and your body is extremely intelligent. So what your body is going to release the fat from where it's most important, and that is around your organs. So when I say that you're, even if you're looking at the scale, or if you're, you're looking to see the changes in your body, it's important to not look at the scale per se, but to look at have a tape measure and measure your abdominal area, or your hips, or your thighs, and also see how your clothes are fitting, because what's happening is your body is changing on the inside. The body is melting the fat away from your organs, and that's the most important place where you want the fat to leave. And there are other times when people will say, oh my gosh, have you been losing weight? Your face looks so small. It's going to remove fat from that area, and like I said, the abdominal area is going to be the last place for it to go. And, while you're working out, you want to build the muscles, so when the fat goes away, then you have this beautiful physique that you've been wanting to see. And it's wonderful because it's encouraging for you to continue building the muscle, because you want to see what your hard work is doing. And not only that, when we talk about spot building, why would you want to spot reduce in one particular area? Because if you have these wonderfully developed abdominal muscles, but everything else is out of condition, well, that's not a good look either. So focusing on overall fat loss through a combination of diet and exercise will eventually lead to a reduction in that belly fat. And also, you want to establish a physical activity and an eating plan that you can that can be sustainable for the rest of your life. Because let's face it, diets don't work, and we know that once a person reaches their goal weight and they go back to eating the way they were eating before, the weight comes back on, and even more. So Angelo is asking, can a person lose belly fat without doing all kinds of ab work? You can lose fat with your diet. Yes, absolutely. What you're eating is extremely important to losing the belly fat, and that means, and I'm getting to that in a minute now. Pam says, no, I get it. Sometimes it's also my issue. Journaling makes sense. Thanks. Oh, great. And she also says, yes, sustainability. Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to be able to do this for the rest of your life. So if there's a physical activity that you enjoy, do that. Make sure that it's something that you can do for the rest of your life, because you want to live the rest of your life you want to have a wonderful quality of life, as opposed to being dependent on medications or having to go to the doctor or whatever. You absolutely want to have a great quality of life in the quantity of the rest of your life. And so that's extremely important. Now, number 3, clean out your refrigerator and your cabinets. Replace all the processed foods with fiber-rich foods, because, as Angelo asked, is it possible to lose weight without, in other ways than exercise? And yes, it is diet. Absolutely, it's diet and exercise. And you want to maintain fiber-rich foods that are going to flush the toxins out of your colon, flush the waste out of your colon, so that you're able to, so that your abdominal area is it is not bloated, and you're being able to see those abs. So you want to prioritize high fiber, high soluble fiber foods like oats and flax seeds and legumes and vegetables, because these are the foods that your body is going to need. Soluble fiber helps regulate your blood sugar levels. It keeps you feeling full. And it supports a healthy gut, which is what I was trying to say before, which can aid in reducing that belly fat. So you want to absolutely eat these foods so that they support your gut health. And replacing those sugary juices that are that line the shelves in the stores you want to substitute them for fresh juices or water or whole fruit. So those sugary foods that are in the stores are not doing you any good for reaching your goal of getting a flatter tummy or losing belly fat. And then also, too, another thing you want to focus on is the condiments. Use them sparingly. If you like them, use them sparingly, because the calories that they contain really build up. You would be surprised. And I did a video on that in terms of reading labels. So make sure that you are cognizant of the I'm calling them warning labels, because they're warning you to be wary of the foods that you're putting in your mouth, the ingredients that are on the labels, and also the calories, the salt and the sugar calories or grams that are in those foods that can steer you away from reaching your desired goals. Number 4. Your abs really are made in the kitchen. Your diet affects your abdominal muscles. Absolutely. So to support that, drink more water, because it helps digestion, and it also curbs the unnecessary snacking, contributing to belly fat loss. So a lot of times when we think we're hungry and we're grabbing for some kind of snack or something in our kitchen that we really don't need, we may not be hungry. We may just be thirsty. And so drink some. This is a test. So this is the thirst test. So if you think that you're hungry, drink some water and wait 20 minutes. And after that 20 minutes, if you're still hungry, then your hunger is legitimate. But if you're not hungry after 20 minutes and you drank that water, then it was just thirst. So remember this, because it's extremely important for us it's extremely important to know that water is a nutrient, and our bodies are composed of over 70% water. So feed your body. Water is to the body like oil is to a car. You would not drive your car without having oil in the tank. So think about water in that same way. Also, creating a caloric deficit is really crucial for fat loss. But if you're not into counting calories, you really must make vegetables the main source of your food intake. The more processed the food, the higher the calories, salt, and sugar, and ultimately the belly fat. So focus, when you have your plate, the majority of the food on your plate should be vegetables. And then you can have a small portion of grains and protein. Okay, so keep that in mind. Nutrient-dense foods like vegetables, they help you to maintain a balanced diet and provide your body with essential vitamins, minerals, and the macronutrients. We got some comments here. I love avocados and they're high in fat, so is it okay for me to eat one every day? And then, you can eat, you don't have to eat the whole avocado. Now your body does need fat because fat protects our organs. There's a certain amount of fat that we do need that protects our organs. So yes, it's important to have the fat, and avocados are the good fat. But remember, your body does recognize fat as fat. So if you're going to eat an avocado every day, make sure that it's within the grams that you set for yourself, and that you're not over consuming fat in your diet. So if you count your avocado, and then if you have, like, let's say you eat dairy. If you're going to consume dairy, you want to make sure that you're not over consuming your fat grams with the dairy or the meat, because there's fat in meat. And so there are other foods that contain fat, and there are hidden sources of fat in other foods. So and definitely in processed foods. That's why it's really important to read the labels on your food, on the processed foods that you're consuming, but also to make sure that that the foods that you are consuming that are not contained in a box or a bag or a bottle, you make sure that they are relatively low in fat as well. And thanks for the thirst test. I'm drinking more water and I'm really eating less. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for verifying what I just said. And also let me just say, if you are, drastic changes in your diet or extreme restrictions can also lead to nutrient deficiencies and they can negatively impact your metabolism. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough nutrients for your body to survive, one, and also if you are, and to not only survive but to thrive as well, because as we age, we need a little bit more in certain areas. We need a little bit more protein. To protect our muscles. We need, our bodies don't really make enough calcium as we get older, but having calcium and magnesium in the foods that we consume, it does help. So, and also doing some kind of weight bearing exercise, those to help our bones. So as we get older, we really want to focus on those things. Now, Angelo, is there a way to measure the amount of fat in meats? Yes, absolutely. The fat content should be on the label, as far as I know. Now, I'm vegan. I haven't checked meat. I don't really look at meat like that in the grocery store, but I know that meat has a label, and so you should be able to determine the fat content or from the label, but also too, you can also check out MyFitnessPal, because you can put certain foods in there, and they do have a free version where you can determine what type of you can add what type of food you eat, whether it's fried or baked or broiled or however you prepare it, and they should have a recommendation for how much fat, how much protein, and how much carbohydrate is in that particular food. So yes, thank you for that. Now, now I'm thinking, yes, there are ways to determine how much fat, how much your macronutrients and how much fat is in a particular food. So number 5, start strength training. Start strength training. I got a lot going on here, y'all, so I'm trying to maneuver. I'm like, Anyway, I'm going to talk about strength training, but I want to first let you know about the function of the abdominal muscles, because they're not just there to make you look good. And I don't think that people talk enough about the function of your abdominal muscles, and they help to the essential bodily functions, including urinating, defecating, coughing, sneezing, regurgitating. These are, they also help in the intra-abdominal pressure, facilitating childbirth. So your abdominals are extremely important. And the abs hold in your internal organs. They support them, and protect your internal organs, meaning including like your stomach, your intestines, your pancreas, your liver, and your gallbladder. So there's a lot that the abdominals do, and they maintain your posture, and they provide core support for your spine. Every muscle in your body has an opposing muscle, and so the abdominals are the opposing muscle for your spine. And so if you find and the spine supports your body during sitting and standing and bending over and twisting and exercising and singing. And so the abdominals are extremely important. And your mother may not have known this when she said sit up straight, but when you sit up straight, you automatically contract your abdominals. You can't help but, if you're slouching in your chair, your abdominals are not working. So, but if you are sitting up in your chair, your abdominals are engaged. So keep that in mind. Okay, we got a chatty bunch today. Thank you. I've heard abs also contribute to posture. Yes, that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. I'm so glad you've heard that and that you are corroborating what I'm saying. Now, also, you want to with incorporating strength training, you want to use compound full body exercises. And some of those exercises would be squats, deadlifts, bent over rows, kettlebell swings, and burpees, because they use more than one muscle, and they use more than one muscle group, and they also are using more than one joint. So if you're using, so you got your shoulder joints, your elbow joints, your hip joints, and your knee joints, and your ankle joints. And so these exercises use they use more than one of those to actually to move your body as you strength train. And the more muscles you use, the more you have to engage. When you engage your abdominal muscles, that aids you in creating in doing an exercise properly. So that's extremely important. Such great information. I love it. Gotta go, but can't wait to see the entire video. Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much for joining me. And yes, check out the replay. Okay, so now also too, with regard to strength training, the best exercise that I believe is the best exercise for training your abdominals is abdominal awareness. That's the most important thing that I think of, because you're contracting your abdominals. And this, when people say, oh, you can do it anywhere, and you really can't do some exercises anywhere. You can do them at home, or you can do them in the gym, but you really can't do them anywhere, because then people would be looking at you crazy. So the abdominal awareness is really contracting your abdominals. And that's holding in the abdominals. And you could do this several times a day. I'm doing it right now. And now, if you are watching, just contract your abdominals, hold them in, bring your hands either on your head or at your shoulders, and then just twist. Keep your abdominals contracted and twist. Twist from side to side. Now you're working your rectus abdominis and your internal external obliques, and also your transverse abdominis. You're working all of those muscles to stabilize your core. Now, there's also a stomach vacuum, and some people mix up the contractions with the stomach vacuum. And one of the difference between the contraction is that when you contract your abdominals, sucking them in, bringing your abdominals towards your spine, you can still talk while you're doing this, but a stomach vacuum, you can't. So that is the difference one of the differences between the stomach vacuum and the contractions. And so, as I mentioned also too, sitting up straight is one of the best exercises that you can do literally anywhere. Now, one of the next best home exercise for the abdominal muscles is the bicycle. And I'm pretty sure that we've all seen that particular exercise, and that particular exercise is the best exercise for the abdominals, because it works every muscle group in the abdominal area. So you've got your rectus abdominis, your internal external obliques, and your transverse abdominis. All of those muscles are working during the bicycle. And Angela says, will you be bringing a demo of some of these exercises in the future? Absolutely. I will definitely do that. So stay tuned. And thank you so much for that question. Also, too, I just want to say, before making any kind of significant changes to your diet or exercise routine, it's always a good idea to consult your healthcare professional or registered dietitian, especially if you have health concerns, because they can provide personalized guidance based on your individual health and status and your goals. So, are there any other questions that we have today? I hope that this has been informative for you, and if it has, please like and subscribe and even share this video. I love these tips for the day, tips for Tuesdays, and I really appreciate you showing up for me. Angelo, thank you so much. This was helpful. I'm so grateful that you found some value in it. And always remember, until next time, it's your life. Live it well. Thank you.